All right, so today you're going to follow the video to create a World War II casualty map. And we're going to be doing the same thing that we did with the World War I, but you can follow along with the video here. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we've logged in to ArcGIS.com and that we've created a new map. So that's what I'm looking at right now. And then we want to add data. So I've prepared the data for you, so you can find that add layer from file. And we're going to go out to the Burgess share. So you go this PC, down to the Burgess share, and then you're going to go to the GIS 1.2, and then when you open that, so GIS 1.2, Veterans Day, and then it'll open up here. And so we want to bring in the World War II allies. So let's start with the good guys. So we'll bring that into our map now. I'm going to import the layer. We want to generalize the features for web display. So once it's importing here, we'll notice that it all comes in as one color because it's showing everything the same. And then it just says to us, oh, do you want to map every single country with a unique color? And we really don't, because what we want to show is the casualties. So here's where we choose an attribute table. We want to choose Ally Casualty, which we will change later. And then we're going to select counts and amounts. And then we're going to go into the options and edit the counts and amounts. And we want to have the largest amount being the darker color because that's going to show more people died. So we're going to choose the color. So I'm going to choose, I think I'll choose this green. And I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm also going to classify the data so that I can have it broken up a little bit. So now I can get a better idea of where most of the casualties, which we can see definitely over in Russia. And from here, I'm going to hit OK and done. But I'm not done yet because I know that I don't like the name of the Allied Casualty. And I also know when I zoom in and I click on here, there's a lot of information in the pop-up that I really don't need to have and I don't care about. So I'm going to edit the pop-up so that I can configure this properly. So here I go and click on the three dots, and then I go to the configure pop-up, and I want to make sure that I'm configuring the attributes, and I don't want to see the FIP country. I just want the country name. I don't care about the 2005 population. And I don't care about the square miles or the square kilometers. I do want to know that these are allies. And I do want to know that the data that we're mapping is Ally Casualty. But here is where we can just type in under the alias. So that way we have that. And then we can just hit OK. And then when we hit OK here. And now if I click on the map, it tells me that this is the United States, and yes, it confirms that it was an ally, and also tells me how many casualties. Or I can click over here and find out that there were a lot of Russians that were killed during the Second World War, or that there were a lot of Chinese killed in the Second World War, which maybe we didn't know as much about. So I'm looking at this, and I don't really love the color because of the base map that I chose, so I can go back in here, and I can actually change the coloring that I want. So I'm going to go back and do that because I don't really love the color that I chose. So I'm going to choose a different color scheme that I think hopefully will be a little bit better to look at. So maybe I'll take too many choices here. I think I'm going to choose a purple. There we go. And then I'll hit save. So that gives me a pretty good idea of what's going on. So now I've actually just created the one layer of my data. And I've just created the allies. So I want to make sure to save it. So I'm going to save my map. And I want to make sure I call my map WW2 casualty. And then the tags here would be WW2 and maybe casualties. This is just so that we can look it up if we need to. And I'm just going to save my map here. Okay, so that's only one piece of the map. Now what you're going to do is do the exact same thing, and you can rewind this portion of the video if you need it, but you're going to do that and you're going to add the axes the exact same way under the exact same space. Add layer from file, go out to the Burgess share, and make sure you choose the World War II axes to add to your map.